Hello folks, welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck, where you can get all the sports you need in 10 minutes. My name is Adam Orduna. This is my mom, Gina.
He is a journalist.
She's the enthusiast.
You know what? I'm surprisingly enthusiastic about this topic.
Yeah, this is an interesting topic today because we want to talk about fighting in Major League Baseball. And you don't see it quite so much in the lower levels, but you see it a lot more in the pro levels because generally...
In the majors.
Right. The pitchers are really accurate. They throw strikes. They have really good command on the baseball. And so when you're the pitcher and you control where the ball goes, you can control when you hit somebody or not for the most part. Now, every now and then a ball will get away from somebody and you can see from the reaction of the pitcher that maybe it wasn't intentional. But when someone gets beamed in the lower part of their leg or someone is throwing right at somebody's head to just kind of let them know that, hey, I'm here and I'm not playing around with you, there is some intentionality about that. And so we're talking about what happened just yesterday with the Washington Nationals and the San Francisco Giants.
Yep.
Now, both of these teams are one of the more iconic teams in baseball because the Giants won the World Series in 2014, and they've had a great history with Barry Bonds. They're just one of the better franchises in all of baseball. And then you've got the Washington Nationals, who have been one of the more exciting teams to watch over the past couple years.
Yeah, they're kind of the up-and-comers.
They are, exactly.
I mean, they've been around for a while, but just the excitement about them
They've got good players. They're pretty young. Well, they've been younger. And, you know, Bryce Harper is one of those iconic guys within the league that you can market.
I would say he's kind of the face of Major League Baseball right now.
He's one of those guys that has done a good job of bringing a lot of youth and energy to the major leagues, which is what baseball needs. You have to have those younger players, those younger athletes, to keep it fresh and exciting and energetic.
Well, he was the one running around saying, let's make baseball fun again.
Yes, you know, exactly.
Before the presidential election, make America great again. He was saying, make baseball fun again. So this guy has been carrying the torch for a sport that he loves.
From there, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the point is he's right. You know, the major leagues have to find a way to, in all sports for the most part, but specifically baseball, they got to find a way to make it fun and energetic and bringing people in there. So Hunter Strickland and Bryce Harper have had a beef for quite some time now. It's been a couple seasons ago where Bryce Harper was the young whippersnapper.
Well, he got the best of him. Just tell he hit off twice, beat him
kind of the golden boy, if you will. And Hunter Strickland is one of those guys that, hey, he's not going to back down from you.
Do you know how big Hunter Strickland is, by the way? He's like 6'5", 260.
Well,
like, he's a big
just like
dude.
Madison Bumgarner's like that.
Right.
Basically 6'6",
big guys.
Big old horse with big haunches and can throw that ball. I mean, these guys are for real.
Yes.
And so they got into it yesterday. And so Hunter basically hit Bryce Harper right on the thigh. Bryce was not feeling that. He came charging at him, threw his helmet down.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
And they started swinging. And now we've got a little bit of, well, we've seen that over the last couple of years. Your Donald Ventura, rest in peace. He was one of those guys that didn't back down from anybody. And so he got into a fight last year, and it was a brawl. He got suspended for it. And
you're talking about the Kansas City Royals.
That's a rough riders
right there.
The boys in blue. Yes,
if you hit one of our guys, our pitchers will hit you.
We're going after you.
That's
exactly.
Happening. And apparently that happens around the league.
Does.
That's kind of the standard. If you come for our guy, our pitcher, we have the kind of pitchers with pinpoint.
Yes.
Our ace guy, like you said, rest in peace. Well, we all miss him. He came right for it.
He did. Exactly.
No apologies. Just letting you know. Here it comes.
Hey, coming for you. Well. The big question is this something that should continue to be allowed within the major leagues? Is this something that people should be sort of supporting or just saying, hey, we've got to be professionals, we can't have this? What are your thoughts on this, as this is kind of a thing now?
Well, I'm going to give you the most wishy-washy answer ever, because I say yes and no.
Right.
On the no side, that you can't have your star player, like we got Eric Hosmer.
Yeah.
You know, there's stars all over.
Yeah.
But Bryce Harper's kind of the face of the MLB right now. You can't have pitchers taking him out. And especially if you're letting him hit people in the leg, what happens when it goes and it hits him in the head? You know, when it goes too hard, you break someone's leg, or, you know, now someone is out because you're talking about 90+ mile an hour balls coming out, projectiles.
Yes.
So I say on this, no, there should be a zero tolerance for this, and you have to punish the pitcher enough. Don't miss me with the, oh, they're sitting 3 games. They're going to sit 3 games anyway. When he pitched, 6, 7, 8 innings, he's going to sit the next couple of games anyway. It has to be like a big punishment. So that's my no, we can't allow it. Here's my yes. Major League Baseball this season's particularly boring as all. The last couple of years, maybe it's because it's been exciting.
Right.
It is so blah, blah, blah right now. Like, go through the record. Yeah. I'm not making this up.
No, it's true. Well, I think you do bring up a good point. I think this year has been kind of a downer year, if you will. The last 5 or so seasons have been extremely dramatic.
Last year.
We had the Royals back to back. And both Royals World Series were against iconic teams. You had the Mets in 15, you had the Giants in 14, and there's just been a lot
even a couple of years ago, they thought it might be the Rangers and the Astros, to Texas.
Correct.
I mean, it's been good.
It has been really good, and to our point, there's been some younger and more youthful athletes within the league. This year has kind of petered out a little bit, if you will, and so yeah, it is kind of hitting a lull. It is a little boring this year. I think the most exciting thing about the season right now for me are the jerseys. I feel like there's a lot of uniform changes. Part of it's due to some of the holidays that have happened since the season has started, but I feel like you turn on any game and each team has their own uniforms that are pretty cool.
Yeah, the Jackie Robinson Day.
Yes, the Negro League Day. Yes. Memorial Day just happened and they've got their kind of cool Army. Yeah, exactly. And so there's going to be a 4th of July one too, which is cool. They just had like the breast cancer day too, which was Mother's Day is what it was. Yes. People wearing their pink and stuff. So I just think there's a lot of cool things about the jerseys.
But that proves my point. Right. The most exciting things are the jersey. I mean, look, in American League, you only have one team that's above 30 wins, and that's the Astros in the West, and then the Angels are behind them at 26.
Right.
The Yankees and the Red Sox are leading the AL East, 29 and 27 games.
Basically, there's not. Yeah, exactly.
And then the Twins and the Cleveland Indians in our division in the Central are 26 wins.
Right.
I mean, it's just like you're watching your leaders win 20-something games.
And there's only a handful of teams above 30 wins throughout the entire major leagues right now, and so you gotta feel like it'll pick up here towards the end. It's a slower start,
well, what's
and
going
there's
on
a
the
lot
National
of games.
League side?
Yeah, and then in the National League side, that's where a lot of the 30-win teams are coming from, especially in the NL West. You got the Rockies, who are on fire right now. The LA Dodgers, which good for them. Clay Kershaw and those guys, but they always kill the regular season, so I'm not that surprised about that. And then you do have the Cards right now with St. Louis and what they're doing. So I think that's good to say that, hey, we have some teams that are above 30 wins, but no one is just going nuts off the stat sheet.
Right. Well, the Cubs, who were everybody's favorite story, they only have 25 wins, and they're behind the Brewers in the Central. And then on the National League East, you've got the Nationals. Now, Bryce Harper's team has 31 wins. Right. But then behind them are the Braves and the Mets at 22 each.
Yeah, exactly.
And the reason I'm bringing up the record is because my point is it's kind of been this blah, blah season.
There's only one team on the AL side of things that has over 30 wins, and then there's only a couple teams on the NL side that have over 30 wins.
Right. And we know everyone can't have 40-win seasons. People, they got to beat somebody. Someone's going to lose. But when everybody's just kind of trudging along in the 20s,
But it's still early on, and so there's a long ways to go. We're not even in June yet. And so speaking of long ways to go, the Royals aren't even that far off from being the #1 team in the AL Central, even though they're in last place right now as far as just the Central Division goes.
Right.
They're only 6 games behind first place, and we've got a long homestand, so they can make up some ground here coming up.
Trust me, there's a whole bunch of teams.
So the season is just, it's a long way to go.
But there's a whole bunch of teams sitting at 22 wins. We're sitting at 21. So it's just, my point is that there's no big home run records.
But that's the point,
no big, big arms on the mound.
Everyone's about the same.
So to answer the other side of the question, I think the fights are fine because they're not fine. I'm joking too much, but the fact is that's the most exciting thing. Right. When the Orioles and the Red Sox were going at each other, hating and fighting, people are tuning in to watch that.
And we haven't even mentioned some of the other teams that are still out there that aren't really up to snuff right now either. But that's to our point. This season has kind of hit a lull after we've had such amazing runs by some of the various teams the last couple years. There isn't one person just completely killing the game right now, as some people say.
Well, and we're letting pitchers hit our number.
Exactly.
Our golden boy, Bryce Harper.
And guys are getting injured. Mike Trout's out right now. Our starting main ace pitcher, Danny Duffy's now injured.
And that was a random injury. He was like trying to cover first.
Exactly.
First of all, he didn't even get to the bag.
Exactly.
It was like the dirt around the bag caught him and tripped him up. And
exactly. And Josh Donaldson for the Blue Jays has been hurt most of the year. So there are some big name guys that have been fighting injuries. And that's just to be expected. So
what do you think about the fights? Do you think they need to make them go?
You know, I just think they need to put restrictions on it. And as long as people aren't, like you said, getting really injured from it, I think it is just part of the game. It's a physical game when it comes to those types of things.
Me
but
with anybody's
hey,
ball at
it just is what it is.
Me and Bryce Harper, we are charging that mound.
Right.
I'm not trying to get hit with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Exactly.
No.
Well, believe it or not, it is pretty warm out here today. Our iPad has overheated already from our first episode, so we know that we do need to wrap it up here. But we want to say we've got a lot more updates from the major leagues that we want to bring up. The All-Star break will be coming up pretty soon. Yeah, exactly. And teams will start to separate, but
and maybe there'll be more fights.
And hopefully the Royals start catching hot. They did really good so far in the month of May, so let's see what they can do. But we want to say we appreciate your time, folks. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Type in my name, Adam Moore, like our Facebook page. And we want to say we appreciate your time, and we'll see you.